So yesterday I totally bombed out, but it's crazy how just backing off one day and getting a good night's sleep can then lead to what ended up happening today, which was a big PR at 25 and 30 kilometers respectively. So let's kind of talk through this. So you remember yesterday in my conditioning video how I explained that in order to pass, I need to at least make the first mile in 3:20, the second mile in 6:40, and the third mile in 10 minutes. And that's on level 10 on the PRECOR bike or level 14 on the Life Fitness. So here you can see the first mile, second mile, and third mile respectively. Knowing that I'm moving at a pretty decent clip after the first 3 miles and kind of getting the dust out of my legs, the next thing that I'm looking for is where I'm at 9.33 miles, because 18.66 miles is 30 kilometers. So if I can get to 9 1/3 miles, then within half an hour, that means that I'm still at a good pace in order to make 30 in under an hour. Everything at this point is looking good. I'm not too gassed. I can hold this pace and even go up a little bit. So the next checks are the actual checkpoints. So the first checkpoint is at 10 kilometers of the original alternate APFT bike distance, the Army Physical Fitness Test alternate event. So 10 kilometers, 6.22 miles, and I got that in under 20 minutes. Then next up came checkpoint 2, which is 20 kilometers or 12.44 miles. And I got that in 38 and change, like just under 39. That's probably a PR. I'd have to go back and check through all my records, but I don't really care about that metric because it's not a complete workout until I get to at least the third checkpoint, the 25 kilometers, which was a PR at 40, well, cue the video. Yeah, 48 and a half minute, well, 48:32, so 48 and a half and two change. Then the end point of 30 kilometers was another big PR that I almost got sub 58 minutes at 58 and change, 58:05, I believe. So that's the whole 30K kind of broken down in terms of how I make sure I'm maintaining an adequate pace in order to make those kind of hit times. The next thing I want to talk about is the FTP, the functional threshold power. My FTPs at each checkpoint and my daily weigh-in are going to be at the end of this brief description. So as long as I make the 1 mile, 2 mile, and 3 miles within the 3:20, 6:40, and 10-minute time hacks, I'm not too concerned with my FTP because I don't want to over egg the cake. You know, I don't want to like overcook myself before I even get into the main checkpoints that I care about. So the first hit point for FTP is going to be my 10K, where I had an FTP of 368 watts and I weighed 153.6 today, which is 69.818 kilograms, which puts me at 5.27 watts per kilogram at checkpoint 1, 10 kilometers. Then at the second checkpoint, I was moving my fastest, which is a bad habit. I try to peak at the third checkpoint, but I just kind of naturally peak around the 20K. I was going at 394 watts, which is just shy of my fastest. I've done a couple 400 watt sessions before, but at 20K or 12.44 miles, 394 watts at 153.6 pounds puts me at 5.643 watts per kilogram at checkpoint 2. Then at checkpoint 3, I slowed down a little bit, but I was still going at a decent clip. I hit 382 watts at 25 kilometers or 15.55 miles. And at my weight of 153.6 or 69.818 kilograms, that puts me at 5.471 watts per kilogram at checkpoint 3. And then lastly, I finished off kind of strong. I petered off a little bit though, at 357 watts. Still good, but that's kind of under where I started. My goal is always to try to hold at least what I had at 25K, but it didn't happen. Anyways, still a decent run, 357 watts, which puts me at 5.113 watts per kilogram at the end of the 30K. And that right there is one of my conditioning sessions, Deconstructed. Stay in the fight.